Right, welcome back to the channel, and now I'm around about 9 kilograms up from stage weight. And 9 kilograms is obviously quite a lot in 2 weeks, okay? But the body weight that you are when you're fully depleted is not an accurate representation of anything. It's purely just to get to a number, right? So me gaining 9 kilos, actually just by eating normally, I would have gained probably 2 or 3 or 4 kilos. So then obviously I've had some treats and I've had, quite an influx of food. So I've probably gained 5 kilograms of actual weight, and the other 4 kilos probably would have just been from like normalizing my body just from eating food and drinking water, whatever. So yeah, it's kind of strange, and I kind of miss prep already. I make no secret about it. I really enjoy prep, and I don't necessarily enjoy off season. That being said, it's been very nice to have the mental switch off, and it's been very nice to sleep. But it's also, what I miss the urgency and having something to work towards. Right now, it just feels like, it doesn't feel bad by any stretch, but it's not as exciting. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to run through a few bits and bobs in this episode. I'm going to start off with what you see here, Animal. So through prep, I was contacted by Animal, and I didn't even know if it was going to be real at first, because Animal is a company that I've been running for so long. And in fact, I remember when I first started training, it was one of the first brands I ever come across. Yeah, if I think long and hard about it, they might have even been the first company that I ever come across. Probably more like 20 years ago. And yeah, they messaged me out of the blue and just said that they would like to offer me a sponsorship. And, I've been sponsored by probably about 5 companies over the last 10 years for competing and whatnot. But this one was a bit more special because, yeah, as I say, it's a company that I've admired for a long time. The goal of Animal is more like towards hardcore training, and it's not just sort of like a modern age kind of thing. It's more about like the hardcore gritty side of things, which is kind of why I got into it in the first place. I was all about strength and performance, things that I really like that. So yeah, it was really cool. And it's also the best sponsorship I've ever had in terms of the actual deal itself. Now, I'm not going to go into details, but it's a proper sponsorship, as opposed to, a lot of times people get in sponsorships, but it's actually just an ambassadorship. You have a discount code and you just plaster it all over your social media and whatnot, but this one's not like that. This one's an actual sponsorship. Sent me over a load of clothing, so I've got 4 t-shirts, 4 t-shirts, 2 vests, 2 pairs of shorts. They sent me over all of the other bits and bobs. Creatine, by the way, these creatine shoes, it's so much better to have creatine like this. They're almost like the texture, them necklaces with all the, and you bite off the necklace, that kind of texture, so much easier. I know it's not that hard to go into a creatine thing, pour it out into it. It's not that hard, but this is easier, and it tastes amazing. Like, it really is good. They sent me over EAAs, and I think the thing is, Animal Pack, given the name, that's kind of how they always come. Everything's super convenient. Like, so you just whip them out, in, go. And having everything like that, it's never come natural to me to be plastering with supplements. But when it's convenient as this, it's hard to miss. It really is. It's super convenient. So yeah, they send me over these bits. They send me all the clothing. As I said, it's a proper collaboration. It's not just, here's a discount code. In fact, I don't even have a discount code. So it's just a proper sponsorship. So I'm really grateful for them. Shout out to Animal, and thank you very much. And here is to a successful partnership with them. So yeah, that's great. Oh, and also I don't have the whey protein here with me. It's in my car. Oh, it tastes amazing. Like, so people talk about what whey protein is best and what's this, that, and the other. Well, do you know what? It's one of the main things is taste. It just is. Most quality proteins from good companies like Animal are going to have like the staples in there. Things are going to be present in the ingredients panel that you want, right? So that's great. It really comes down to how it mixes and how it tastes. And both of these, and I'm not just saying this, we're talking like 10 out of 10. It tastes amazing, and it really matters. I've had companies in the past before, with Complete Strength before, and I enjoyed the taste of those, and I really like their cream of rice those, but this is the next level. I've had companies before where I don't really enjoy it, and you're like, oh shit. And trying to promote that it just feels a bit disingenuous, but it tastes amazing and it's super convenient. So yeah, love it. Anyway, I'm going to quickly talk about a couple of things that I've had to adjust in my mind when it comes to off season. So one of the things that I do is I put off my food. Like on prep, I'd have meal one at around about like 11 o'clock in the morning. Like I try and hold off my food as long as possible, which is really annoying because I wake up at like 3 or 4 in the morning because that's just how prep goes. I have meal one at 11, then I might train at like, 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then I'll have like meal two at around about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and then I've got more food in the evening. I find I can sleep better if I've got more food in me later on in the day. So now I'm eating a whole lot more food. I'm still doing the same thing. It's like I'm still in my old habits. I'm still like putting off all my food. And this is a problem. When you've got a lot of food to consume, this is not good. So it's about switching that mindset, letting go of condition as well. That's another thing as well. People post-show do struggle with that. Myself included to a degree, but I do know, to improve, you've just got to let go of it. My goal is no longer condition, and that's just the way it is. I've got to think about trying to get bigger. So that's the goal. And something else I've been thinking to myself as well. The other thing though, there's been a bit of a focus in recent years for me towards training and staying injury free. And as much as that's great, and it's great, I feel like my physique's better than it's ever been. 2025 version of myself would be any other version of myself in years gone by. So it's great. Like my physique is clearly improving, even at my age, just turned 38. But I don't enjoy training quite as much as I did when I was absolutely hammering heavyweight. Now, I've kind of made this decision in my head that I want to, and it kind of coincides with being with Animal as well. I really want to push for strength again. It gives me more enjoyment. Like when I know that I'm going into the gym and I'm going to go and do something, it almost scares me a little bit. It gives you that kind of anxiety before a set. That shit makes me want to train. If I go into a gym knowing that I'm just I never go through the motions. I always train to failure. But there's training to failure with things that are pretty safe. And then there's training to failure with those things that are like really, really pushing your boundaries and your limits. And I'm going to try and find a balance between that and what I've been doing. Because I do need to stay injury free, that goes without saying. But I also need to really be stimulated mentally. And that comes with the strength stuff. So I'm really going to be making a conscious effort to be strong in this off season. Now, I think I've got the potential to be the strongest I've ever been if I actually stay injury free and I'm smart with it. I don't rush anything. More muscle now, more technique. I lift better than I've ever lifted. Everything is sort of like locked in. The missing piece of the puzzle is just getting to that point where I'm pushing my boundaries and really testing myself. So that is the goal for off season. Eat earlier to get more food in and be fucking stronger and really ignite the love of why I started doing this in the first place. I love competing, and this year was some of the most fun I've ever had competing. I really, really enjoyed all of it. Like I loved it. There was no real negatives. It was great. But now I want to find that love again in the training side of things because I did start to fall off a little bit on prep. That is my mission statement for off-season 2025. So following on from there, I am going to take you through some of my push exercises where I'm going to basically be setting up my baseline numbers. Now, I was a little bit self-conscious about doing this because I'm really not going to be anywhere near my max strength. But it is one thing, it is fucking honest. So today is the chest focus and I'm going to be doing dumbbell incline press. Now, for a point of reference, my best ever is 70 kilograms for 15 reps on incline. Now, I already know that I'm not going to be able to do that now. It's something I'm going to have to work towards. And it's a good thing anyway, because this gym only goes up to 60 kilos. So when I get to the 70 kilo mark, I'm going to have to go to another gym, which is all good because I go to plenty of other gyms anyway. Right, so anyway, just before I get into it, I thought I'd be wearing this Animal top. However, I'm not sure they realized my size. They sent me over, I think it's a 2XL, but it's basically sprayed on. So yeah, I considered making a vest out of it, but I thought, nah, do you know what, fuck it. So I've got a red and a yellow one of this. And I actually really like the t-shirt. It's just a shame it's very figure hugging, shall we say. But anyway, so I'm going to start off with incline dumbbell press. My goal today is go to 60 kilos and see where I'm at. As I say, numbers are going to be down, but this is just setting my baseline numbers, which is then going to increase week on week. And hopefully in about 6 to 8 weeks from now, I'm going to be at my max strength. I'm not just going to get there mindlessly. I need to get there injury free. I'm not going to make unnecessary jumps. I'm going to do what my body can handle. So let's see how strong I am today. So the incline that I'm going to be working with is this one here. Obviously you can go higher, but the higher you go, the more delta it is. So I definitely don't want to be working my delts. It's definitely less focused towards shoulders and way more focused towards chest. In fact, I've not shoulder pressed for probably 2 years because I'm trying to balance out my physique. And I think that's a really important thing to note as well. You're not just doing the things that are already present on your physique. My shoulders tend to get a pump even when I don't train shoulders. So my back and my shoulders volume is dramatically down and my legs and my chest volume is up. And that's just relative to me. You need to do the same thing for your physique. So anyway, now when it comes to warming up,
Okay, so the goal with warming up is to get blood in the muscle, get yourself primed for the movement, but not expel too much energy. So I'm going to be working up to 60 kilos. So I'll start off with the 20s. So nice and easy, probably like 10 reps here. And something else that I do as well, in between my warm-up sets, I'm going to be stretching my pecs. I always find that I'm quite susceptible to niggles in the pec tendon as it joins into my arm there. So I stretch between sets as well, just making sure I'm nice and limber, ready for the big sets. So the next warm-up is 30 kilo. Eight reps there. And something that I want to get across as well, strength matters, but strength does need to be targeted through the muscle that you want to be working. So what I'm thinking about doing here is I tuck my shoulder blades into the bench and I try and push my chest up to make my chest the highest point rather than rounding over and trying to press like this. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to tuck my shoulder blades down and back and press like this and have my chest push out. I am going to be using explosive movements because, as I say, I want to start to enjoy my training more and I want to be strong. So set the precedent even on the warm-ups. Going to 40 kilos now. Now in with the 40s. Five reps there. Again, setting the precedent. What is annoying is where I'm not used to going heavy, these feel heavier than they should. You want your warm-ups to feel like fucking nothing, but unfortunately, where I'm a little bit out of practice for heavy stuff, I haven't done dumbbells in a long time, so we shall see. All right, so I'm a bit annoyed at myself. I forgot my elbow sleeves, so I've only got my knee sleeves, so they don't really fit my fucking arms. But you're gonna have to make do. Now, you don't have to use these, but you gotta remember, I'm 38. So my joints ain't what they used to be. So, yeah. So this next set is gonna be the 50s. And as I say, setting a precedent, I need these to move well. Nice and easy. So the 50s. Yeah, I moved pretty well. I think the 60s should be there for a decent enough set today. So I'm going to do one more warm up, probably the 54s or the 56s, then I move to the 60s. So you notice there, the amount of reps came down. So at first I did 10, then 8, then 6, then 4. Again, I'm just priming myself. I'm not trying to expel too much energy. I'm not trying to get anything from these sets other than prepare myself for the big sets. So I will be doing 2 work sets here. Depending how the 60s go, I might do 2 on the 60s, or I might take it down. We'll see how it goes. I sort of play it by ear, but 2 working sets with the dumbbells, and then I move on to the next exercise. Right, so now comes the final warm up, and I'm gonna go with the 56s. See how they feel. Probably just like 2 or 3 reps here. These need to feel easy. As I say, it's a bit of a mental thing. If the 56s feel hard, then it's likely that 60s are gonna be harder, right? So I'm sort of priming my social nervous system, priming myself in general, mindset, everything towards these feeling easy, so therefore the 60s should feel easy. Now it might seem strange, like because my max is 70 for 15. So why are you worried about 60s? Because I've not done it for a long time. So it's important to remember that as well. When you're out of practice of something, you're not gonna be quite as good at it. So my numbers are down at the moment. That's why I'm being the way I'm being. So anyway, final warm up. Yeah, felt fine. Felt pretty good, pretty smooth. 60 should be good for, I don't know, it's half mini gauge, but somewhere in the 8 to 15 rep range, I would imagine. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so it is top set time, 60 kilos going down. We shall see. So, not the cleanest. So 60 for 12. Not the cleanest of sets, but not bad. Well, this is just baseline. This is me setting up my off season. First time I've done dumbbells in, I don't know how long time. So, what will be quite cool is if one of my vlogs in maybe somewhere in the region of 6 to 10 weeks from now, you'll be able to see the progression, you know. Hopefully by then it'll be 70 for 12 to 15 in that rep range, and then hopefully surpass that. 75s for 12 to 15 would be a nice little goal to get to. I say, is strength the be all and end all? No. But what I found after all these years of training, that it does give me mental stimulation that I think I need. So for me, at this stage of my lifting career and bodybuilding career, it is what I need. I need to feel excited about coming to the gym. And that excitement comes from the nervousness, the anxiety of not knowing whether you can lift something or not. So this is obviously just my push session. I'm going to be doing this for barbell row. I'm going to be doing this for my squat movement, whatever that will be. So yeah, set me up that as. So I'd probably do another set here. Again, try and hit the same amount of reps. And that's it. Crack on, man. You know what you got to do, yeah? Yeah. Right, so that's dumbbells done and dusted. Now onto this hammer strength incline. So best numbers ever. They were pretty clean as well. I did 4 plates for 19 reps, I believe. So yeah, I'm not going to be anywhere near that today, but we'll see. So anyway, there's also these little things here. I don't know if you can see these things are here. Basically, it's quite harsh when you're trying to reach back to try and get the handles. So what these do is they just push out a little bit, so therefore you don't have to reach back as far. Then when you push, they fall naturally and then you're good to go. So I've heard a few people say on my story previously, what are these for? That's what they're for. So anyway, let's set some more baseline numbers. A little bit hard for me to get in actually, with this fucking thing in the way. Right. Okay. There you go. Was that 13, I think? Some sweat in my eye as well. Whew. Right, so yeah, baseline number set. 60 for 12, dumbbell incline. 4 plates, hammer strength incline, 13. And one more thing before I sign this out. You know, as I say, it's not just about strength, but this is for me to enjoy more. Giving me strength goals is gonna help keep me more engaged and excite my love for training again. But I have to still remember, chest is something that lags for me, something that I struggle with. So I still need to do the boring stuff, the connection stuff. I still need to do that. So I won't record that, but there'll be certain movements that I do single arm, you know, pushing it across my body, fly movements, really good stretch, really good contraction. Gonna do all that stuff. This is purely based on the baseline strength numbers for me to actually enjoy training a little bit more than I have been. So the session was really, really good. Let's say the boring stuff that I need to do for my chest, I didn't record, but rest assured, it was great. Post-workout. Now, I've given myself a couple of options for post-workout. Cereal or crumpets.
for around about 150 grams of carbohydrates post-workout to go alongside with the animal whey that I'm about to use as well. And truth be told, I don't normally have crumpets, I just fancied them. And I thought to myself, yeah, great. So these are incredibly low fat, which is obviously what you want post-workout. You want something that's going to give you, like something that's high glycemic index, basically. Low fat, high carb. So yeah, 150 carbs from these. So that's all of these. Each one's 20, so there's 6 in a pack. 120, and then I've got maple syrup to go on top of it as well, which actually I've never had on crumpets. I always have golden syrup, but I thought, I saw it, fancied it. So here we go. And I put this on my Instagram the other day. Vanilla whey from Animal, I have that. And then I just put a dash of water, and then basically the consistency you get is what I would describe as almost like cake batter. And I literally just spoon that in my mouth because it's how I prefer it. You know, you get it in a shake, you can have it with ice, you can have it in stuff, but I like to have it personally just like this. So it's Saturday, the 30th of August. Yes, I'm wearing a nasal strip. Yes, it looks stupid. But do you know what? It helps me breathe. I sort of look a little bit disheveled. Obviously, I've just woke up with bed hair and whatnot. But yeah, so anyway, we are one day out from Emily's show, which means we are traveling today. Her show is down in Newport, which is Wales. It's like on a good day, you'd make it in 3.5 hours, but it's probably not going to be a good day. It's Saturday. So it likely means, you know, a 4.5 hour journey. So what this means is being prepared. So being prepared means supplements to be taken on board. Thank you very much. But also make sure you prepare your food. I think this is actually something that comes up quite a lot with clients. You know, they'll be like, oh, I couldn't do X because I was doing Y, you know. And reality is you just need to be prepared. You know, it means waking up slightly earlier. This morning I was up just after 6 because I knew I had a load of stuff to do, make sure I had all my clothes packed and everything like that. And then also making sure I've got enough food for the day. So obviously we're going to be on the road. I want to make sure that I don't, you know, lose out on meals. Again, yeah, this is another thing. So it's not even that my clients cheat necessarily. It's also that they don't eat for a long time and then have this big backlog of food. So for example, let's say I ate now before we traveled, and then we traveled, and then we checked into the hotel or Airbnb, excuse me, and then, you know, and then all of a sudden you've got like these 4 meals and you're like, oh, I couldn't really eat because there was so much to do. Well, that's it. Just make sure that you plan ahead. Planning ahead is absolutely vital. So make sure the food is going in nice and early. Wake up, get it prepared, and do not miss. And I actually hate when people say, I don't miss, but it's true. You gotta, you know, if you're taking this seriously, treat it with the respect that it deserves. And actually, thank you also to Animal. This is now my coffee pod. So I fill this up and travel this. So this is also my coffee, so I don't need to stop and pay £1 million for a Costa or a Starbucks. Yeah, anyway, so that is that for this vlog. And the next one is going to be Emily on stage and a few other bits and bobs. Thank you for watching.